The Knicks are NBA champions, 2026 NBA champions, and I got a lot to say about it. But before I get into it, hit all those reminders on the side of me, and let's get into this intro.
Early grind, black coffee, yeah, the mic stay lit. Ride the magnif talking, yeah, I speak that grit. From the plays to the stats, yeah, we break it all down. Coffee break sports, yeah, we kings of the sound. Hey! Coffee break sports, yeah, we live no sleep. Hot takes, cold brew, yeah, we dive in deep. Wake up, tap in, let the energy pour. Coffee break sports, yeah, we run the score. Woo! Coffee break sports, yeah, we run the score.
Welcome back to the break room. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent, back with another episode. We are capping off the NBA Finals here. So, hey, I'm glad you're here in the break room talking with me. I hope you got your coffee because I have mine. So, without further ado, let's get right into this discussion. And here we are. We have the NBA Finals. First topic of today, we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals, my recap, my thoughts and opinions on everything that's happening. And also, Jalen Brunson, Finals MVP. Did he deserve the Finals MVP? Also, we're going to talk about the Spurs collapse. And also, I got some awards to hand out at the very end of this show. Let's first get right into it. Our first topic of discussion today, and it's none other than the Knicks. The New York Knicks are champions. Let me say it one more time. The Knicks are NBA champions. For the first time in 50 years, the Larry O'Brien Trophy is headed back to Madison Square Garden, and they didn't need 6 or 7 games to do it, ladies and gentlemen. They closed the door in 5. Just like Wu-Tang predicted at the halftime show in Game 4, Method Man bravely said in the midst of a 29-point deficit, Knicks in 5, we ain't worried. And today we're talking about it. The finals, most people focused on San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama, Dylan Harper, Stephen Castle. I mean, this was a future dynasty in the making. The way it was looking after they dethroned the defending champion OKC Thunder. But the New York Knicks were on the other side, on the Eastern Conference side, just throwing bowls. They're beating down people and taking names. I mean, after a slow start against the Atlanta Hawks in the first round, shout out to that Atlanta Hawks team. They're on the rise. You're not going to see the last of that Atlanta Hawks team. They were able to handle that business. They was able to go ahead and get rid of them in 6, and then they swept their way to the NBA Finals, past the Cavaliers, past the Philadelphia 76ers, who overachieved and got to the second round of the Finals. But that's neither here or there. The Knicks didn't just survive the Finals once they got there. They control it. After stealing Game 4 on OG Anunoby's unforgettable tip-in, New York walked into San Antonio and finished the job in Game 5. One thing becomes very clear. The Knicks were simply tougher when it mattered the most. Every time the Spurs built momentum, New York responded. Every time the Spurs had an opportunity to seize control, New York Knicks executed. Bronson was brilliant. OG made winning plays. Mikal Bridges came alive in Game 2. Josh Hart did Josh Hart things. Carlos Anthony Towns. He outplayed Wemby in the first 2 games of this series to help set the tone to kind of make Wemby a little Wembley. The rest of the playoff, this finals matchup, played better in Game 3, but he just wasn't himself. He wasn't the same Wemby that we saw in the OKC series, clearly. The dominant Wemby that we saw. The Knicks didn't beat the Spurs because they were more talented. They beat them because they were more composed. The defining story of this NBA Finals wasn't what happened in the first 3 quarters, ladies and gentlemen. It was happening every fourth quarter, aside from game 3, even though they the Knicks were applying some pressure to try to come back in game 3, but they were applying pressure every fourth quarter, and they were able to do so successfully 4 times. The Knicks got stronger, the Spurs got tighter, and that was the difference. The New York Knicks are celebrating as NBA champions. Spike Lee, if you are listening to this podcast, and I'm sure you're not, but if you do stumble across it and this clip goes viral some way, shape, or form, you can celebrate now, man. Call Michael Jordan, call Charles Barkley, call everybody. We saw the commercial where you was calling Michael Jordan, taking it back to with the Marsh and Michael Jordan commercials and everything, man. I really appreciated that commercial. It was very nostalgic. You can officially wear your blue and orange jersey with pride, and for the rest of Knicks fans, you can wear your blue and orange jersey with pride, whether it's a modern player that's one of your favorite players or some throwback Knicks player from long time ago, even a Knicks player, a lot of Knicks fans about their Knicks. I mean, the 12th man off the bench it matters to Knicks fans, okay? So don't walk around saying you've been a day one Knicks fan. They'll catch you slipping. They'll be like, well, who probably some bench player from the 1990s or the 1980s or something. And if you don't know who that bench player is, you're going to be in for a beatdown. Whether you're wearing throwback jerseys or loving on the modern players, pause. Big shout out to you guys. Wear your Knicks jerseys with pride, because you guys have someone, a superstar. He's no longer an all-star, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have on your hands a superstar in Jalen Brunson, who played lights out in game 5 of this series with 45 big Michael Jordan-esque points. And boy, oh boy, look at the numbers: 32, 36, 45. I mean, Jalen Brunson has cemented himself. He has cemented himself in the Mount Rushmore of little guys in the NBA. I mean, the dude took this team on his back and played lights out, fearless basketball. And say what you want to say about Jalen Brunson, there were a lot of critics. The receipts are out there. Stephen A. Smith, Nick Reich, always Nick wrong, even Chris Broussard, Dan Patrick, so many people dogging the Knicks for signing this man to so much money. But you know what the man did? He took a pay cut to get this team better, to get this team established. Josh Hart said, skip them picks. Let's go get us a championship. And yes, it took some time. When they played the Indiana Pacers last year, Jalen Brunson got hurt midway through that series. I know a lot of people say Indiana should have won because Halliburton got hurt in game 7 of the NBA Finals. Well, Jalen Brunson got hurt in that series. So who knows if the Knicks would have won that series had Jalen Brunson stayed healthy. So, it is what it is. Injuries come with the territory. It's about staying healthy the whole entire playoffs. And even if you stay healthy, you're not 100%. But that NBA Finals MVP by Jalen Brunson was well deserved. Absolutely. I acknowledge the elephant in the room. OG Anunoby's game 4 tip-in was something mind-blowing, okay? And yes, if you backtrack to some episodes of Coffee Break Sports, yes, I did choose the Spurs to win this series in 6, all right? So I am definitely going to get on this mic and say, hey, man, I apologize, Knicks fans, for doubting you. I apologize to the Knicks for doubting you. But OG Anunoby, that tip-in, it did change everything. And the Knicks were moments away from potentially heading into a completely different kind of series. Probably a 7-game one, right? Instead, OG delivered the biggest shot or tip-in Knicks basketball history. And that moment will be cemented in Knicks fans' heads forever. It's going to be played forever. I wouldn't be surprised if a statue of that play was being put on display in front of Madison Square Garden or inside Madison Square Garden or anything like that. I mean, that play was electrifying. It was the biggest play of the series. But Finals MVP isn't about one moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the entire series. And throughout the entire series, as you can see on the side of my screen, Brunson was the engine. He controlled the tempo. He created the offense. He was clutch when it mattered. He led the Knicks down a stretch with the needed leadership they needed when the pressure was starting to build up. And most importantly, the Spurs never had an answer for him. They tried to throw everybody on him. Vassell on him. Fox on him. Castle was playing decent defense on him for a little bit, but then he was doing some really head-scratching stuff defensively against Jalen Brunson, picking him up at half court and just letting Brunson blow by him for big layups down the stretch. I mean, Brunson gave us a signature series. All right. OG gave us a signature moment, but Brunson gave us a signature series. And that's why the voters got it right. At the end of the day, Jalen Brunson deserves the trophy. And so please stop down this man. As you can see on the side of my screen, all of these things. He signed a 4-year deal back in 2022. And then look at all the additions that were made prior to him being willing to take a pay cut. You get Cat, you make a trade for Cat, you get Bridges, all because of this man right here, Jalen Brunson, and his sacrifices. One of the things that really is been something as a topic of discussion is not only the heroics of Jalen Brunson, it's also been the real collapse of the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, the San Antonio Spurs, like, what's the deal, man? What happened? I have faith in this team. I don't know if they got brain fart. I don't know if they got just flabbergasted, but where was that team that beat the OKC Thunder in 7 games? It was nowhere to be found in this series. And it's all because not just of one man, because I know that's the direction you guys want to go. You guys want to point all the blame on this guy, De'Aaron Fox. And I got an award for him coming up later on in the show. But everybody wants to give this man problems. He's not the main reason why they lost this series, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this play was bad. He should have held on to the basketball. He should have been thinking with his head. And OG Anunoby did his LeBron James / Lou Cornette impression and blocked the shot from the layup from behind on a chase down. And here's the thing. I know that a lot of people are just letting this dude have it. This was a team effort, ladies and gentlemen. Some will blame Mitch Johnson. Some will point the finger at Keldon Johnson for disappearing in this series. But those are just symptoms. The real problem was bigger. The Spurs as a team stopped playing well. And that includes Wemby and Stephen Castle. Stephen Castle did not have a field goal, ladies and gentlemen, until the 4th quarter. Wemby made some critical mistakes earlier in this series that came back to bite him in the butt later on. He threw a pass to Castle after getting a huge rebound for a potential game-winning shot, and he threw it off his back. Yes, we can all say positionless basketball. This is what happens when you play positionless basketball. That's cool. That's cool. I agree with that. Wemby is the man. Everybody's anointing, right? As the next one, the face of the NBA. That's what we were hearing after they beat OKC. Well, he did make a critical mistake. He did. At first, I was blaming Castle after this, but after watching this so many times, Wemby clearly messed up. Even if Wemby didn't try to pass the ball to Castle, he could have stopped. They had time. He could have stopped somebody. De'Aaron Fox looking like he was coming his way to get the basketball, pause. But it comes with being young. This is a very young team, including the coach. Young teams are going to make critical mistakes. They went up against a team full of veteran players who have been playing together for quite some time. I don't think that with this situation, we have to, go into this whole breaking the team up type of trade this player, trade that, trade. No, they made it to the finals with this team. Run it back. If you get rid of anybody, most likely it'll probably be Fox, but you're going to have to get some bigs. I said the same thing about OKC. OKC, they don't have enough guys that can crash the boards. I know this game has evolved, so to speak. I know what the young people said, oh, basketball has evolved. No, it didn't evolve. Basketball didn't evolve. Basketball turned into positionless, mindless basketball. Basketball has turned into a three-point shooting contest, which is another reason why the Spurs lost Game 4. We don't have the De'Aaron Fox blunder if they don't shoot a whole bunch of three-pointers and miss them in the second half instead of just continuing to pound the paint. I don't want to hear any excuses from the San Antonio Spurs. They don't have to do a big revamp. They just need to make a couple of moves here. They have a first round draft pick, top 10 draft pick this year. They'll be fine. They're going to keep growing. They're going to keep building. Do not try to build to beat the Knicks, because the Knicks are going to get better too, but don't try to build or just focus on the Knicks. You got to build to win a title against any team, not just one team. And so talent's not the issue. Composure is. And if the Spurs work on their composure going into next season, I think they will have a shot at getting back to the NBA Finals. We got to get to some awards, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get to some awards. Coffee Break Sports Awards is back, and this is a special finals, NBA Finals edition of the CBS Awards. Starting with our first award, the J.R. Smith Award goes to none other than this guy right here. The J.R. Smith Award goes to De'Aaron Fox. Now, before Spurs fans get mad and throw tomatoes at the table or throw at the TV or throw their phone out of the window, this isn't because Fox had a terrible finals. It's because he committed the worst mistake at the worst possible time. Game 4 will live in infamy, ladies and gentlemen. The Spurs are trying to close out a critical victory. The correct play: hold on to that basketball, force New York to foul you, protect the possession, run the clock. Instead, Fox attacks the basket, gets blocked, and the Knicks get another opportunity. OG gets the tip in, the Knicks steal the game, and the entire finals changes. One possession, one decision, one massive swing. Congratulations, De'Aaron Fox. You are the winner of the first annual J.R. Smith Award. And now we're going to get to the Cuddy Award, which I award someone for knocking another team down a flight of stairs, similar to Cuddy in the movie Dead Presidents. And the next Cuddy Award goes to none other than the New York Knicks. I mean, come on, man. The fourth quarter alone gets a Cuddy Award for the Knicks. This wasn't just basketball. This was an assault. Every fourth quarter felt exactly the same. The Spurs will build a lead. The Knicks walk into the room, and suddenly New York starts throwing haymakers. Run after run after run. Comeback after comeback after comeback. And the Knicks' fourth quarter execution knocked the Spurs down an entire flight of stairs. This award wasn't even close. My next award is the You Played Yourself Award. And this You Played Yourself Award goes to none other than Mitch Johnson. Coaching matters. Throughout the finals, Mitch Johnson coached like a man trying not to make mistakes. Instead of coaching aggressively, instead of stepping on New York's throat, instead of trusting what got him this far, he became conservative. Championship teams can smell hesitation, and the Knicks, they feasted on that. And when you're coaching not to lose, you started losing. And congratulations, coach. Miss Johnson, you played yourself. My Milk Carton Award comes to none other than Keldon Johnson. Everybody's going down the throat of De'Aaron Fox. Pause. I get it. De'Aaron Fox made some terrible plays, terrible decisions in this series. The person that's not getting any of the blame in all of this is Keldon Johnson. Have you seen him? Because the Knicks sure didn't. The Sixth Man of the Year was one of the Spurs' biggest weapons throughout the regular season and including the playoffs, especially. I mean, he was huge in that OKC series, but then the finals arrived and his production disappeared. I mean, the Spurs desperately needed bench scoring, and the best both benches for both teams was clearly Dylan Harper, not Keldon Johnson. Dylan Harper technically should have been starting over De'Aaron Fox, but that's another story for another day. We clearly didn't see Keldon Johnson in this series. The Spurs desperately needed bench scoring. Instead, they got inconsistency from him. And for someone who played such a major role, his finals performance left a lot to be desired. So Keldon Johnson, please report to the nearest milk carton. And last but not least, it's a shame award. It is a shame what happened to Charles Oakley. Yes, Charles Oakley, man. The Knicks just won a championship. The city is celebrating. Former players are celebrating. Legends are celebrating. And somehow, some way, Charles Oakley still isn't fully welcome back into Madison Square Garden, especially for that Game 4. And that's a shame. James Dolan, do better, man. Do better. Love him or hate him, Charles Oakley is part of Knicks history. Whether you like him a lot, he helped build the culture Knicks fans still celebrate.
To this day! To this day!
So, championship moments should bring people together. I mean, look at what happened with the Cubs after, not winning a World Series for over 100 years. They wanted to invite Bartman back. Now, Bartman declined, but at least they extended an olive branch to Steve Bartman and wanted him to come back to celebrate the 100 years. James, at least stick out the olive branch, but he wouldn't. He gets his reward anyway because he gets to celebrate in San Antonio because that's the building that he's allowed to go in and watch his favorite team, the Knicks, and he was able to celebrate, that championship with the Knicks. So thankfully, he was able to get a ticket in San Antonio. They welcomed him with open arms. Just love seeing him along with other players a part of Knicks culture there to celebrate with the team and with the fans that made that trip out there. So James, stop this 9-year feud, man. The parade is coming up on Thursday as of this recording. Hopefully one day that situation gets resolved because at the end of the day, Oak belongs in the garden. And that will do it for this edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Coffee Break Sports. Hit all of those reminders on the side of me. Thank you for sitting down with me, chit-chatting about the NBA Finals. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to sports, stay grounded for life. I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.